Here they come. Charlie likes carrots. Do you want some, Daisy? See how they know the sound? All right. Today in our kitchen, I'm going to be making up some kale salad. And what you're going to need for that is some carrots, some dried cranberries, or you can use raisins if you want to do that. For the nuts, I'm going to be using pistachios because that's what I have on hand, but you can use pecans or walnuts. You can use almonds, whatever your favorite thing is. Then you're going to need some roasted sunflower seeds. And we need a couple more things. Let me grab it out of the fridge. We're going to need a purple onion, and we're going to need some broccoli. I'm going to show you what salad dressing we're going to use. It's an Asian dressing. The first thing I did was shred the carrots up. Those are good bite size, but you can also buy the ones that's already cut for you. Then the next thing we're going to do is work on the broccoli. And I want everything to be bite size. I don't want it to be too big. I don't want anybody to have to worry about cutting it. So with these, the easiest way to do it is to cut it from the back side, down the stem, and then you get bite-sized pieces. The next thing I want to do is this big, beautiful onion. And I want to be even smaller than a bite size on this onion. Make sure you take the first outer layer because you don't want anything in there that is like the skin of the onion. We're going to cut it in half. Then we're going to cut it horizontal. And we're going to take it almost all the way through. And I'll show you what size we're looking for. I would say you're probably doing less than a ½ inch. You're coming down. And then if there's anything that needs cut up, you just chop it. And these are the size that you're looking for. No bigger than that. We have the carrots, the broccoli, and the onion. We're going to be adding in sunflower seeds, dried cranberries, and then I'm using pistachios. We gotta do our beautiful kale, and I'll show you how to cut that up. Now when it comes to kale, there's lots of different types of kale. There is a dinosaur kale, there's curly kale, red Russian. I don't even know all the names of them that there are, but it does make a difference on the different varieties that you can get. Some of them are much thicker stem. Some of them, like this one, is more of a tender green. See how easy that is? It just snaps off. And even when it comes to the stems are not thick either. It actually snaps. Now, I wouldn't take this bottom part because it is a little more woody, but up in through here, you don't have to take that off. But if you use something like a dinosaur kale, that you're going to want to bend it sideways and run your knife along here and take this whole stem off. Now with mine, I actually grew it here. I'm only going to take this much off of the stem. The rest of it I can use. Now a tip for any green, especially when you're growing it yourself, make sure that as soon as you cut it, do it in bundles. You want to rubber band it up, have some cool water, rinse this off good, then put it right into water and put it in the fridge, and you're going to have a much longer shelf life. Even when you buy it from the store, rinse it off good, cut the bottom off, bundle it up if it isn't already, go ahead and put it in a cup of water, and it's going to last you much longer. That's why you see those sprayers at some of the grocery stores that keep the produce moist, and that is sucking it up, and that's why it's not all wilty. Now the way that I'm going to do this is trim off the ends first. So I'll put these all together. And we're going to trim this part up to about there. And I'm going to set that aside. That can go into the compost. If you have chickens, you can easily feed them that. Now what I want to do is I want to have more of a julienne type cut, and I'll show you why I want to do it that way. So I stack everything up. I'm going to roll it. Okay, when you're using this, instead of just trying to chop it, you're going to tear it. The easiest way when you're using a knife is you roll it forward, and then it goes all the way through. It's the same way when you're doing like the green onion. Instead of trying to chop it, you go forward and you roll it forward. And you can see how easy that goes through. Keep your fingers bent backwards. Push it forward. And there we go. We have long strings. Now what I want to do is I'm going to turn this all the opposite way, and I'm going to come back in and cut it not as small as what I did, a little wider. Now I have nice pieces. That's what I want right there. Let's talk a little bit about portion size on all the ingredients. You don't have to measure it out. It's really up to you. The main focus, I would say, is your kale. Then you're going to probably say second would be your broccoli. If you don't like broccoli, you can also do cauliflower as well. Then if you notice, everything else is about the same portion size. Now, the one thing we need to do with kale, especially if you're not using Red Russian is one of the most tender kale you can get or grow, and it has a little bit of a more sweet taste than it does a bitter. I'm going to show you though what's important before you work with kale in a salad, what you need to do. Alright, let's get all this kale into a bowl just for that. Now the first thing we need to do is add just a little bit of salt. We're not overdoing it. And then we're going to put some olive oil on our hands. Not on a salad, but on our hands. And you're going to see why. Because we're going to massage it until it gets a darker green color. And what this is doing is it's breaking down the fibers in it, and it's going to be more tender, and the flavors are going to come out more. And then you'll see if you have any of these bigger stems that you missed, just take that out and keep working it. You can start to see the difference in the color. All right, see how those fibers are breaking down and it's getting darker in color? That's what you're looking for. And in fact, this is pretty much done. And like I said, this particular breed of kale is more tender anyhow, and you can just smell the freshness in this. We're going to start adding everything in. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. All right, that worked out good. Now we're going to mix all this up. And once it's mixed, you'll see the balance of the color and the texture. And if you need to add more of anything, then just cut up more and go ahead and add it. And this is just the start, because now we need to make the sauce to go on this. But this is what you're going to need for the sauce. Some rice vinegar, some olive oil. I like to use a raw, unfiltered honey. Then we have a sesame oil, soy sauce. Now, in order for this to be gluten-free, you need to make sure that you have a soy sauce that is gluten-free. Check your ingredients. Then we need 1 garlic clove. And I'm going to use some kosher salt, just a pinch. And today my sous chef is Tim, my husband. I'm getting him to get that garlic ready for the sauce. And what is it that you're doing there, Tim?
Smashing it so in small pieces. You can always add some salt to garlic when you're doing this, and it'll give it some abrasion, so it'll make it finer.
You want to show them how to do that? Here, let me get you some salt. Would you say that it's a little bit stronger of a taste too when you're breaking it down this much?
Yes, because you're releasing more of the oils. And as you can see with that salt on there, if you push on the knife and the blade and smash it, it will get finely minced.
Now that we have all of our ingredients measured out, we're going to put it all into a bowl. Now that we have it all mixed up, we're going to take just a little taste. And see if we need to sweeten it up. I am going to put just a little more honey because some of it's stuck in there. And I am going to say I'll put about a teaspoon in there. The other thing you can do to make this a little bit different is you can add a little bit of lime to it. You can also add some peanut butter. Now, if your peanut butter is not nice and smooth, You may need to add a little bit of water to it because you don't want to try to put thick peanut butter in here and then stir it up. Maybe a tablespoon and then see how it is, or even start with a teaspoon and see how you like it. Perfect. Now, with any of these ingredients, once you taste it, if there's something you want to add a little more to, if you want to add a little lime, like I said, or some peanut butter, it really, when it comes to cooking, I can't stress it enough that unless you're baking where you need exact ingredients, cooking gives you a lot of freedom to make things your own and to add things or subtract things. Now, there is balances that you want when you do sweet and sour, things like that, but in general, use your taste buds to really tell you if you've made it exactly the way you want it, and have somebody else taste it and see what they think or what they want to add to it. Cooking should be fun. You need to enjoy it. It's not a chore unless you make it one. Now, I kept this in the refrigerator the whole time that I was making that sauce. And the other thing I was thinking about is this sauce would be amazing on chicken. So you could use it as a marinade, or when you're doing grilling and it's almost done, use this to brush on top and it would be amazing. I wish you could even, the smell is wonderful and the taste is just really bold but mild, if I can put it that way. You can taste the honey and the soy sauce and the sesame oil, all of it. So let's get this in here and then we're going to do a taste test. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of kale and a little piece of broccoli, and maybe a pistachio. Okay, here we go. It's got all the textures. And there's some sweetness in there. And there's just the slightest bitterness from the kale. This Red Russian is not a bitter kale. It is really good. You could take this anywhere, and those kale haters, believe me, if they taste this salad, you're going to change their mind. Definitely, this is a keeper. Make sure and let me know what you think about it. It might even change your mind if you're a kale hater. Thanks so much for stopping by. This was a lot of fun making this, and maybe I can even get Tim to taste it too. We'll see you next time. Yum.